We shouldn't have to have a month.
Black history in general is important.
It's just good for young kids, young black kids, to see themselves on stage and on screen. I've done quite a few shows now that involve black stories, and one thing that I notice a lot is there are very few shows that are about a love story that just happens to be black people. If there are black people involved, it's usually an issue of contention within the story. It's a struggle being black, it's a struggle getting through. And I think more black stories need to be told, just for the sake of the fact that they're just people that are going through these situations, not because they're black. I think that's really important, that more of those be told as much as possible.
We shouldn't have to have a month. However, if we can have 1 month where everyone comes together, and it's not about the horribleness that happened in the past, not about the horribleness that's happening now, it's about bigging each other up. Let's big each other up, and let's come together and actually just celebrate our wins, celebrate how cool we are, celebrate how we come together as a community. We make shows like this. Tina is one of the most uplifting stories of resilience ever.
Well, I think Black history in general is important, and it shouldn't just be a month, but it's nice that we have a month to honour and acknowledge the contributions that black people have made to society and to the world of performance and music in general. You know, it's important that people understand where it came from and why we do what we do. So it's absolutely imperative that it's there.
In general, it's really important because it's not really widely taught. There's a lot of people that I know that just didn't grow up learning about black history. That's something that I'm fortunate enough to have had growing up, but for people that didn't have that, it's a really good way for them to learn about not only the hardships and negatives, but it's also a way to celebrate all the good things and positive and inspirational things that black people have done. I just think it's a good way to also bring people together.
If you can come and support something like Tina, something like Hamilton, something like Lion King, it makes such a difference. Being on stage, knowing that people are watching and loving all the black people on stage and the stories being told. Why can't this be all the time? Lifting each other up in this month must be a priority. It's not about the negatives, it's always about the positives.
And it's just good for young kids, young black kids, to see themselves on stage and on screen so they can know that that's a thing for them. You know, when I was young, I'm in my 40s now, so when I was younger, you didn't see it that much. You didn't really see a lot of black people on telly so much as you do now. And I just remember one person for me was Whoopi Goldberg. Every time I saw Whoopi Goldberg in something being funny or being serious, she just shone for me on stage and on screen. So I think it's really important for kids to see that.
For myself, say as a Caribbean descendant, there is a break within the timeline of family tree and connection and things like that. And so many times, well, in my day of secondary school, Black History Month was very much about slavery and things like that. And then I got older and I stopped and I thought, well, actually, slavery is not my history. That's actually more of a world history thing. It's not representative of my forefathers before slavery or where I really come from. It doesn't take me back to a tribe or anything like that. And many of us, especially Caribbeans and African Americans, don't know what that link is. We have things like African Ancestry and Ancestry.com and things like that now that can pinpoint certain things. But in terms of culture and where people come from, so many people are unaware, be it whether you're black or white or any other race, are just unaware of what the actual history is. And I think that is very important in terms of empowering oneself, not just the sad history, but the positive history. Maybe someone's related, you know, your lineage goes back to royalty or anything like that, or someone who invented something great. And there are so many of us that don't know that